Wind shear, wind shear, wind shear, wind shear.
And welcome to Let's Fly VFR. I hope you're all having a really great day. Here we are at the beautiful Miami International Airport. And we're parked over here at Signature, one of the local FBOs. It's becoming, it's probably the only one I know in the US. But some of my popular YouTube channels that I like to watch, which is Steve01 Canevo, Baron Pilot, and Premier One Driver. They all often frequent the signatures around the US. So I thought I would put it here. So this looks something like what it actually looks like. It sort of has a curved shape to it. So what are we doing here? Okay, today the big question is, what do you know about wind shear? Now, if you've been watching my last few videos, we've done a few. We've done some on big crosswind landings, and we've done a little bit on icing, which was very challenging. I've got to tell you that was a real surprise. So if you've not seen those ones, please pop over to the channel and have a look. I'll have those linked above, so when you see the little cards come up, if you fancy looking at one of those, feel free, or at the end of the video there will be some links for you. You can feel free to follow those. So what are we going to do? The plan is to take the Cessna out. I'm going to leave the Lancair alone because I think this will be a little bit better for showing it. I've set the weather up so that we get, or we should get, some wind shear opportunities. So I may have to do a few flights and I will edit those out just so that I can show you what happens. So let's have a quick talk about what is wind shear. Wind shear is when you have two bodies of air in a vertical, if you like, in a cake going upwards, in a three-piece cake or a four-section cake or whatever you like, where most of the wind goes in one direction, but you have a layer that you meet as you climb or as you descend that actually comes from a totally different area. And what that does is, if you're flying in at let's say you're flying in at about 80 knots, you're doing an approach, or you're climbing out at about 70 knots in the Cessna, and everything is going well. You've got about a 10 knot headwind, which is really convenient, and you get up to 150, 200 feet, or lower. It can happen lower, but you get up, and then you find you have a quartering or a tailwind layer that you meet. So if you have a 10 knot tailwind, let's say it's extreme, then your 70 knots will immediately become 60 knots, and you will probably start to sink, and you'll need to apply power and keep your nose up. So if it's more severe than that, if you're at 60 knots and you're just coming in over the threshold, and then you get a microburst, which is another type, I'm going to talk about the different ones in a moment, then you're all of a sudden going to lose your lift and head for the ground in a hurry. Is very possible. So why do we get them? Or where do we get them? We get them from thunderstorms. So if you see thunderstorms, big cumulus clouds around your airport, then it's likely that you are going to expect to encounter them, because the wind comes down out of these clouds, and it swirls. It comes down in a donut, if you like, and then hits the ground and goes out and swirls as it goes out. So the wind changes direction quickly, and as you fly through those, you're going to find it. You can also find, and we got a stall warning still happening there, so you know that works. You can also find it at altitude as well. Some cirrus cloud. The cirrus cloud seems to have a curl to it. You can also get wind shears at altitude with that as well, which is something. I'm just going through this myself. It's such an interesting and challenging subject that I think, all of us, no matter what sort of pilot you are, it's worth knowing about. What else do we get it from? We get it from mountain waves. There's some really great videos out there of airliners trying to land out in, I think it might be Arizona or something like that, where you have a big cloud. You have clouds and you have wind coming over the mountains, I think to the left on the videos that I'm thinking of, and the airliners have a hell of a lot of trouble putting them down. So if you're in a little GA aircraft, you're going to be in some trouble, aren't you? Now we have frontal activity as well. If you know there's a front going to come through, that is often will always associated with a wind change. So if it sweeps through, if you've ever been standing outside when a front sweeps through your town or your airport, then you know it comes through with a bit of a rush, doesn't it? And the wind actually changes direction. So if you happen to encounter one of those at a crucial point, that also can lead to a little bit of disaster. So let's get the aircraft started, and we'll taxi out. We'll take off on 08, so I'll catch you in a moment once we're ready to go, and we'll see how we go. I have the wind set up. I'm not really sure how. I can't make it specific, but we will get going, and I'll catch you in a moment. So we're all started up and about ready to go. Before we leave though, I thought we'll just have a quick listen to the ATIS as well, because I need to set the air pressure. I've set our direction. We're going to take off on 08, so it's a right turn down, a left turn, and away we go. That's pretty simple. So let's have a quick listen to the ATIS.
Miami INTL information Oscar. 1300 Zulu weather. Wind shear alert. Wind 080 at 10 variable 040 to 130 gust 20. Visibility more than 10. Rain. Sky conditions 6400 broken. Temperature 23, dew point 9. Altimeter 3029. Arriving runways 09, 08 left. Departing runways 08 right, 12. Advise on initial contact. You have Oscar.
Okay, so there's actually a warning there for us, telling us that there is wind shear in the area, and you only get that at some very large airports, guys. You don't get it at small ones, so you just have to be on your toes and be aware of conditions when you're going to go flying. Okay, I will taxi out and we'll get going in a sec. Okay guys, here we are at the hold short line. We have clearance to enter and to take off on runway 08 from Miami Air Traffic Control. Just wanted to send out a shout out to a couple of new guys. Taxi into position and hold. If you're interested in the life of an airline pilot and what's involved, try visiting his channel. And Scott Hall, if you're looking for any detailed and very, very good instructional videos on subjects with regards to flying the Cessna 172, jump over and have a look at his channel. I'll have links available for those two channels as well. Really worth a look, guys. So moving on, everything's all right, everything's all working. My rudders are working, which is really, really good, because you know they don't always do. And now one of the crucial things with encountering any sort of difficulties like this in the wind shear is that you do not make any configuration changes. You just, if you haven't got it on, you just put the power on full. Because airliners, if you're an airline dude, then airliners don't necessarily use full power. They have a power setting that is used. It's just calculated before they go. And so you may be at 82%, 85%, whatever it might be. But as soon as you get to you get the indication, and the airliners have indications of their own through their own radar, and they turn the radar on 15-20 seconds before they enter the runway. So as soon as they turn in, they get within about 10 or 12 seconds they get a picture of the air ahead of them and what that's like, and if there's any indication. So it takes them a little time. So if you have a 320 or something like that, seems really popular with the airline guys out there on X-Plane. See if that models it. Interested to know if it tells you. If you look at some of the videos online of the airline pilots on this particular subject, they do talk about it. So yeah, it's worth doing. And I found this. What's this doing hiding in the glove box? Yeah, I didn't know that was there. I just clicked on it. So we'll take him for a ride with us, eh? Alright, so okay, so we're ready to go. So no configuration changes, take off, fly normally. Maybe something will happen, maybe there won't be. I have no control over this. Let's get going. Powering up, a little bit of right rudder. Just balancing there, and you can hear the stall warning, and you can see there's already wind takeoff's not going to be very good, is it? What's going on here? Full rudder. Man. What's happening there? Power off, power off. Hold the nose, and we'll bring it back down. What's happening? There we go. Oh! Well, wasn't that interesting? I did not expect that to happen. Okay, I'll let this stuff all sort its life out. And let's try the hell again. Wow. Right, I'm going to taxi out again. I won't make you suffer that. I'll be back with you a second as soon as we're lined up. Well, welcome back to our second attempt. And we've got Austin back with us again. Hopefully he'll bring us more luck in this takeoff. That was really surprising. That really caught me by surprise. I've been flying in and out of here quite a bit recently and doing a few local flights that I haven't recorded for the channel because it's just a beautiful place to fly around. So let's give it a bash. We've got everything's clear there, everything's clear down there. Let's get out here. Now I'm going to try and be more gentle, but you can see how much wind is coming down. There. Now, what I'm just going to do for a moment, because that's 10 knots plus. Anytime the windsock is straight out, you know it's pretty strong. Let's get everything here turned on. Get this back on. Now, we should be 08. Let's check that. It appears to, looks like it's more 090, doesn't it? Okay, but those two, they both coincide, so I need to check that. I have all the maps and everything, so oh, another plug for Sky Vector, guys. If you are new and you want maps and airport information, take yourself over to skyvector.com and yeah, just search your airports, have a look at, do all your flight planning in there. Damn brilliant website, really good. Can't believe you can do, well, I think just about everything for free. It's amazing. So let's get going, right? Okay, let's get, I'll just change view. Let's take this off. Trim set, flaps 0, powering up. I'm just going to go real slow. So we've already got nearly 20 knots, it seems, about 18 knots there of headwind. So I'm going to be very gentle, try and keep straight. Between left and right, lots of right rudder and off. I don't want to start rolling around again. Lots of right rudder. Back off, back off, back off. Okay, we're off, so we're going to go. We're going full power, full power. Wow. Oh, power up, left stick. Keep it coordinated. Jeez, man, nose down. Right rudder, right stick. Man, this is terrifying. Jeez. Look at that. Look at the speed jumping. Up to 80. Back and down. Taking some work holding on to this, guys. I've got to tell you. Man, this is... Don't ever let me do this in a real plane. Hell. We've got altitude. I want some speed. Give me some speed. I can't imagine how disastrous that would be in a real aircraft. Wow. Well, we saw what happened the first time round. I'm still struggling to keep control of this, guys. Bit of nose down trim. We're only at 1,000 feet AGL. I don't know at what point we will get out of this, but you can see the wind shear happening. I have got it turned up to, I think, to max. So the wind shear factor here is out. Oh, that seems to be calming down now that we've got into over 1,000 feet. I'm going to put us on a 10-mile final for the same runway, coming back into Miami, and I'll just check my turbulence settings, and I think I'll turn the turbulence either right down or off, and then just leave the one factor, because I think that's what we're dealing with at the moment. It's the turbulence side of things. This is up a little, and then we'll see what happens from there. Okay, I will see you back on the 10-mile final. Well, welcome back to Let's Fly VFR, guys, and now we're going to try a landing on runway 09 at Miami International Airport. So let's have another listen to the ATIS, see if anything's changed since we've reset it.
Information Oscar. 1300 Zulu weather. Wind shear alert.
So wind shear alert.
0 at 10 variable 040 to 130 gust 20. Visibility more than 10. Rain. Sky conditions 6,400.
So we're getting bursts from over the right side coming across.
Altimeter 3029.
3029.
08 left. Departing runways 08 right.
3029, that looks about right.
On initial contact you have Oscar.
We have Oscar. Somewhere about there where it's going to be above our compass here. But our nose is pointing out to the left. But it's swinging. That's the difficult thing with this. It's swinging from right to left. So we're just going to fly this in as gently as possible. I'm going to keep the speeds up a little bit. I want to try and keep 80 knots until we get much closer, because I want margin for error. I want to be able to have some additional speed, and we already know it's a very long runway. You know, it's for airliners, not for little GA aircraft like we're currently in. So let's keep that approach happening. And you know, your indication, wind shear it's regarded as wind shear if you're getting a differentiation of about 15 knots. So if you're sitting happily at 80 knots and then it drops to 65 or goes up, then you know you're in wind shear conditions without anyone telling you. So you just have to be conscious of what's going on in your aircraft. You know, you can't just sit there, you know, mind in neutral and just use the stick and the rudder and just point it into the ground, because we might find that we get more of a surprise than we expected. And as always, it's, you know, this simulator or this game, there's a bit of a discussion this morning on whether it's a game or a simulation. Someone said stop being posh or something. It's probably accurate, but for me I use it as a simulator. I need to try and keep my practice up for my opportunity once I get back to maybe doing some flying in the real world again. So let's trying to keep centerline. Centerline is our friend. Get back to the middle. Okay, we're at 80 knots now. I'm going to go second stage of flap. Nothing's nasty's happened yet. A bit of nose down trim. Looks like it's going to be better than our tank off attempt, especially our first one where we didn't actually take off. We've been fortunate this time. It hasn't been too vicious, but it's certainly thrown us around. Watching the speed, and hopefully I can keep it straight when we get it on the ground. Lots of right rudder. I'm about 3/4 right rudder at the moment, trying to keep the nose straight. Remember, you want to keep the nose straight. So there's a little balloon. Nose up, and ooh, okay, right wheel, right rudder, ease at neutral, right rudder, ease at neutral. We've got that swing happening. So we made that, guys, but it was interesting. That was interesting. So let's get ourselves off here. And thanks for coming along from the flight. Again, challenge you guys. Give it a go. Give it a go. Come and post your videos on my Let's Fly VFR Facebook page. Love to see how you guys go with it. And as always, if you're new, feel free to subscribe and watch lots. We got lots of videos on doing Ortho for XP if you want to do your own scenery, overlay edit to build these airports like I do. And again, remember, you can download this airport. There'll be a link in the description below. And if you're back and returning, thanks for your support. So like and subscribe, hit that like button. It really does help us a lot, us YouTubers, if you do that. And I will catch you again for another hopefully interesting video on Let's Fly VFR. Have a huge day, guys. Thanks for your time.
Wind shear.